Hey guys, my mic died in the middle of in the middle of my last recording, and I didn't notice, so I'm going to be paying a bit more attention. This is Mr. Happy here, going to be doing a live letter overview and highlight and response and thoughts, all that fun stuff. But because it's a lot of information, and it took me a really long time to record the last video, let me just jump into the main features. I'll cover the main features first, since that would be way easier than going through question to question. Here are the highlights. Scholar job got announced, but they announced it was the 8th available job. So big news right there. But it's interesting because last I heard, Summoner was going to be the 8th job. So what does this mean? I guess we'll find out at E3 because everyone's been waiting for Summoner. We all know Arcanist is still in, and they did talk about Arcanist a little bit, but they didn't show us anything really game-breakingly new. But it's interesting because everyone's waiting for more jobs. They also mentioned that there will potentially be a healing class in the future. So be on the lookout for that information about Scholar at E3 because that might be a healing class kind of like it was in 11, but we don't know because they're not handling this game exactly the same way as 11. Another big thing is the beta release date. Beta Phase 3 is they want to start it around June 14th. So if the NDA is lifted like I think it will be, expect a lot to be happening when June 14th comes around. I'm going to be releasing information like crazy if the NDA is lifted as they promised. I'm waiting for the official post. I haven't seen it yet, but then again, I have been looking because I've been waiting for news about the beta phase, and I knew it would come to me in an email. So whatever. What else do we got here? They mentioned kind of individual classes and jobs, how they function in a party. Like Dragoons attack from the behind and the sides. Monks, whenever they attack, they go into different forms, which give them different stats. So kind of like it. It's a better take on Monk's original purpose, which was that when they use offensive skills, they get more offensive stats, and when they use defensive skills, they get defensive stats. So I'm guessing that's how it works, but we won't know for sure until we actually get to test it. What else do we have here? I'm sorry if it's over here. They showed off the buddy system a little bit, the companion system, and it looks pretty good. They mentioned that your companion will have its own skill tree, and it will have its own stance. So you can put it in the defending stance and give it some healing skills to make it more paladin-like, or you can put it completely into a healing stance and give it healing skills so that it's a pure healer. Those are just a few examples because of the skill tree and the stances, but it's something that we're really gonna have to play along with for a little bit. They showed off the Corel mat, which looks fucking amazing, by the way, excuse my language. Beta Phase 3 will only be conducted on weekends at first. What else is here? The housing, they said you'll have a storefront. They said that some houses will have balconies. They said that if a housing becomes full, what will they do? They're gonna look into it after release and patch in more instances of everything. A lot of things here are just like, what if they found a critical bug? What would they do? They would probably push back the release date, because they don't want to release the game in an unfinished state. They're really trying to avoid that. We also found out that for the Duty Finder, you'll have to do a quest. That's right. Every dungeon you want to use in the Duty Finder, you'll have to do a quest in the dungeon first. So you'll at least have to travel to the dungeon once before you can actually do it in the Duty Finder, which is good because it makes it so you can see all the scenery and you can experience the world as a whole, as opposed to just teleporting to a dungeon. I really like that decision. Some dumb questions about jumping and will you be able to do different jobs on the Duty Finder as opposed to just the one that you actually want to do, and the answer is no. Musketeer, no news on that, by the way. Let's see. There will not be raid-specific crafting recipes, which is kind of surprising a little bit. World names, new heat-resistant gear. A lot of these questions are about aesthetics and not really game-changing things, but more things that people from 1.0 will appreciate, like they're giving us new heat-resistant gear, which is, for those of you who don't know, from an event where we had to kill bombs. What else is there besides regular credit? Yeah. The world names, the legacy names will be the same. Please show us in-game footage of the companions in battle. This is where they mentioned the stance thing. They streamed the PS3 version, which looked pretty nice, actually. It looked a lot better than it did in some of the preview videos. Let's see what else they can. They said the barber will be implemented in patch 2.1 to change your hairstyle. And yes, they are officially naming the patches now 2.1, 2.2. They have been named by the development team, and I'm very much assuming that they've already started working on them. What else do we got here? You have new information about Musketeer. No, you have any plans to add another healer? Again, be on the lookout for Scholar. We have a special surprise for you at the end of the stream. They showed a job action video. I highly recommend that you go check it out. It's definitely up already. I can't see why it wouldn't be. Other people are posting it. They probably posted it already. In fact, they have an update from Twitter right now. So let's see what it says. New developers blog. The revealed job actions trailer. It's out. Go to the Final Fantasy XIV developers blog to find it. Excuse me if I'm talking a little fast. I just don't want this to be too long of a video. I just want you to be able to enjoy it. A lot of the information I took care of at the beginning, so now I'm just speeding through some of the smaller details. They mentioned the vanity slot, which is a big thing. It just lets you put a slot of armor in over your gear, so you can see gear that you're not actually using, so that way not everybody looks the same. What else do they have? They mentioned the Armoury Chest, which I was actually going to talk about tomorrow. But I figure since they mentioned it today, I might as well mention it today. Basically, what the Armoury Chest is, all your equipment goes into an Armoury Chest. It doesn't take up your inventory space unless you overflow it. You get 25 items per slot, which is hands, shirt, hat, things like that. And you can pick your gear sets from the Armoury Chest. That way you can use one piece for multiple sets. And it's the perfect way to handle a problem that apparently people have been complaining about on the beta, that they're going to have to carry way too much equipment. They're going to need everyone apparently was needing more than one piece per character. I remember this stuff, but can't really talk about it. What else is there? We'll be able to equip different types of weapons in the future. They gave an ambiguous no, which is a little weird. They said they'd rather just implement new classes and jobs, which is okay, but it'd be nice to be able to wear a different weapon. Hopefully the vanity slot at least makes it so not everyone's wearing the same greatsword at level 50 or something like that. What else do we got here? There's not much more information. Some things about equipment dying, where you'll be able to dye it on the piece of gear. What else is there? One second. There's also, they asked about haste, which is a big thing. There will not be a haste spell, but there will be a lot of abilities, and there will be a lot of things that increase your haste, which decreases your global cooldown, by the way. What else is there? They mentioned limit breaks. This is a big thing. Limit breaks will all be shown at E3. I obviously will not be uploading the limit break video onto my channel, but I will be mentioning it, and I will be providing the link. Obviously, the link will be easy to find, but I'll provide it anyway just to announce it, give my thoughts on the limit breaks, how they look, what they probably do. There's going to be a ton of information about them that I'm going to make a video about. Elemental weaknesses and resistances, they're not really going for that in this game. Just because if they had Ifrit being able to resist fire, that as one of their examples, it would be very underwhelming because different spells have different functions, I suppose. So I guess you might need fire against Ifrit. Makes sense. And they just don't want to limit like black mages or any class that uses fire damage on Ifrit. This mostly seems to be a thing about black mages and fire-based any fire-based damage that maybe the melee will do. What else do we have? Here's the Armoury Chest. Multiple parts on monsters got mentioned, and it's not like it was in 1.0 where if you're in front of them you hit the horn. You can actually target different parts on certain monsters. Behemoth was the only one they really mentioned, and that's it. They only mentioned Behemoth really. I'm just gonna cut myself off there. Excuse me. Been talking so much. Running animations for classes and jobs will be different. No, I mean not class and jobs, for ethnicity and race. Those will be different. That's to be expected. When the limit break gauge is full, they're saying no, we won't tell you what limit break to use, what's most beneficial. That's completely up to the party to decide. And that is pretty much all the information that's really, really important. The start date for Phase 3 is officially June 14th, as I said at the beginning of the video. So expect my channel to blow up when that happens, with lots of information, lots of things I'm discussing, lots of gameplay videos, as long as the NDA is removed as they promised. At least the video NDA. The information NDA might be lifted, but the gameplay NDA might not be. But I'm still waiting for more information about that. But thank you for watching. Be tuned, because I am still doing the informational week 10 tomorrow. I'm going to cover some of this stuff there for those of you for those people who may not see this video. But thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a good end of your May or something like that. I always fuck up these endings, don't I? Oh well, how about I just cut the stream right